This is the Alabama Orthopedic Clinic D1 Training High School Football Preview Show.
Second month already, Dan Brennan.
Yeah.
Second month of the season, UTV 44 high school football. Tonight we, Dan and I have been doing this.
Second month, 19th year.
Yeah, since 2000. It's hard to believe. And how long here in UTV 44 when there was the big acquisition? They went out and brought the crew over.
It was a blockbuster.
13 years. 13
you may
years.
have seen it in the Wall Street Journal, but yeah, we're so glad to do this, and the fact that so many people get to enjoy what we do on Friday nights is just amazing.
But we've never been to Bay Minette for a game.
No.
In all that time, 13 years here in UTV 44, back in the days with Comcast, never been to Bay Minette, and we are going there this Friday night. Tonight, we will be there, and I'm pretty dang excited.
I am too, and this is a Baldwin County High School team that has really made a move to become a player in 6 Region 1.
6A Region 1, yeah.
And they have done it piece by piece, little by little, and we'll talk to their coach about how they've done that.
Yeah, and a coach on the rise for
no doubt.
sure. We'll also talk about our game last week. Lev Holly, we were just talking to him. We saw the Saints St. Paul Saints go up to Blount, win 11-7, and like you and I said during the game, and Lev just said, if he'd have told us beforehand we're going to hold them to 11. I'll take that. We're going to win.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the game should have been in black and white. It was like 1967. There was just hard-nosed football, and I get a feeling we're going to see some tough action at the line of scrimmage again tonight.
It should be an exciting game. We'll talk all about that as we see the Blount Leopards for the second week in a row. We always talk sports medicine injuries here. Dr. Cesar Roca with us from AOC Sports Medicine tonight, and welcome back. Good to see.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Good to see you here. And so we've talked different things before, including my currently broken toes, which are not getting any better. Not a sport-related injury, but AC shoulder separation. Something you hear, see about, kind of what's the most common way that injury seems to happen?
Right, so the acromioclavicular joint is the joint on the top of the shoulder. So if you think of the clavicle attaching to the shoulder blade, so when a football player gets tackled, so he flips up in the air, and then he lands on the ground, he hits the ground with the top of his shoulder, then what happens is that literally the clavicle just separates. And that's where some people say, oh, I dislocated my shoulder. The shoulder dislocation is when the ball and socket deep from the shoulder come apart when someone's tackling and it gets dragged like that.
Right.
That's when you dislocate your shoulder. So someone thinks, oh, I dislocated my shoulder. No, you separate it. It's really a dislocation, truly, but you're separating the clavicle from the shoulder blade.
Kind of see it with quarterbacks on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays when the big lineman comes down and puts all of his weight on him and brings him down on that shoulder.
You can see it when as a doctor, when you watch this guy, you go, oh my God, that's separation.
Right, yeah. You like I was joking with the doctor last week. He said, ooh, I probably don't want to watch football with you because you know.
Oh no,
you know, but
that's the MCL. That's
and so, but like everything else, you maybe can't provide or you can't prevent the tackle or what's going to happen, but you can try to be as strong as you can there to limit the possibilities?
No, you're correct. I think sometimes I'm asked, well, how can I prevent this from happening? Well, you're right. If you fall just in the right position, just in the right way, you can prevent it. But yeah, if you have strong shoulders, certainly you have your pecs and your deltoid muscles being strong, and also if you're falling and you know how to roll, then they're more or less likely. If you're very stiff and you'll land like that, it's not going to happen.
And it's just one of those injuries you see, and like you said, like when you see that quarterback, it's always everybody's holding their breath when that, and that's why the NFL and everybody else is trying to limit that a little ways. But you probably see, I mean, boy, you could do it skateboarding, doing it, playing, just whatever, tripping over the dog in the house. I mean,
I've had doctor friends who it has happened several times when they're riding a bicycle. So you're riding a bicycle, you hit a bump, you flip over, and then you land like that. So at least with football, you have shoulder pads, and you have a little bit of
We have talked 5 injuries in 5 weeks. I would be susceptible to every. There's nothing preventative I've done to get myself in game shape for any of these things.
I guess the question would be, when it happens, how quickly can a player come back, say, a high school football player?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because like so many injuries, there's a spectrum, right? So just like your toe, okay? So you got a little tap when it's bruised, right? So if you just hit it just a little, And it hurts. You know, when I examine your touch of your hip, that hurts. It may be sprained, okay? So in that case, maybe give them a week or two, and then maybe the proper shoulder pads, etc., and they might be able to get back to that. Then you start getting to the different spectrum. So the next part is they really are torn, but they're still together. You're probably starting to get into an issue where you go, well, you're in season, you don't want to hold them back.
Right.
But if you have them have another injury like that, that's going to be much worse. So that's the in between. You go, well, can he play? Can he not play? Can we pamper him? The problem is, like I tell my football players, if you're going to play, you got to play.
Right.
If you hesitate, you're going to get run over.
Yeah.
So then the next stage is when, if it's actually more separated, then you're done. Because it's going to take you, without treatment, it's going to take you, well, the treatment will be conservative. It will be 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks for that to heal. Okay, now if it's completely separated, like a grade 5, you need surgery and you're done.
Ooh, we don't want to see those. So have strong shoulders. That's
that's right.
That's key. Doc, great to meet you. Love having
Great.
you here.
Pleasure.
We'll talk more football throughout the year as well. Blount and Baldwin County tonight here on UTV 44. We're excited. Our first time, as we said, going up to Bay Minette, and we're going to talk about tonight's matchup. Lev Holly joins us from the Blount Leopards coming up right after this. Football tonight here on UTV 44. The Blount Leopards taking on the Baldwin County Tigers as we get ready for this matchup up in Bay Minette tonight. Excited to be there. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Lev Holly, the head coach of the Blount Leopards. Now, usually we have a player with us as well. Had a player lined up to be here, but Mama said, no, you're going to church tonight, son, right? He said that's an excused absence, I guess, on our part.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
We were just saying the game last week here on UTV 44 against St. Paul's. I know you're probably still frustrated at some things, but we said if we told you before the game you're going to hold them to 11 points, I mean, you'll sign up for that every time, and you're going to win the football game, right?
Yeah, I would. Defense played lights out all night, and I think we missed some opportunities early and missed some late, but it was one of those situations where St. Paul's knew how to win, and they just stayed in it, and we gave them the breaks that they needed, to go and pull it out. But, hopefully it's a learning experience for us, that we'll be able to bounce back from that this week.
Part of it just a growing pain of a young football team that you have?
Yeah, I mean, you can put it on that. But, I mean, I think we've put them through the test. And, one thing that I saw was a bunch of hurt, and they knew they let one slip slip away from them. So, but once it was all said and done, there was nothing we can do about it. So we had to go back to the drawing board, not just as players, but as a staff, and get some things done. So feel pretty good about where we are right now. I thought we've had a great week of preparation coming into this week, and hopefully, we'll be able to play well this week against Baldwin County.
Obviously, as a coach, you're focused on your team and how they improve, and you feel like you've showed some improvement here in the week after the St. Paul's game. Let's turn our attention to Baldwin County. How important is this game for your team, and what do you see when you see the Tigers of Baldwin County?
Very important game, and I think this game have playoff implications written all over it. Whichever team lose this game, actually gonna put themselves behind the 8 ball, have to go do something really spectacular to finish it out. And but when you look at Baldwin County, I think Coach McDaniel, those guys, they do a great job. And they've had their chances. They had a chance last week against Saraland and missed out on them. So, I think it'll be a great football game. I know they're very athletic, really physical, play great defense, really strong in the middle. DBs are real active. But, at the end of the day, I think, we got to go out and play and look forward to, and accept the challenge. Turn this challenge to opportunity. One, to go out and play, go out to get better, and 2, to go out and just play Blount football for what it is.
And it's never easy in this region. It's tough week in and week out. But you're talking about kids learning, kids stepping up after last week, letting one slip away. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's really what high school football's all about, and teaching these young men life lessons outside of just the football field, right?
Yeah, ain't no doubt. I mean, it's every day. It's a process, you know, from kids, you know, and I tell coaches and teachers all the time, you know, these kids' days are really longer than ours. You know, they come to school, they're expected to sit in class. After class, you know, they do study hall, they do practice, they do workouts, do film study, do conditioning, then have to go home and do it all over again. So, you know, as a educator, as a father, you know, it's a challenge and that I accept, and I take a lot of pride in that of mentoring these young guys and being a part of their life, because when it's all said and done, it's so much bigger than football. I mean, this is just a small portion of it, you know. And I tell our kids all the time that, hey, this is already, the outcome is already there. I mean, all we got to do is just go in and put the work. Now, will we win? I don't know. Will we lose? I don't know. But, hey, we put the work in, it's nothing that we can do, because at the end of the day, you know, we're going to bypass this, and it's a clock on everybody's time when it comes to football, you know. So when it's all said and done, man, you got to just give praise and know that, hey, man, I did the best that I can do, and as long as our kids do that and play hard, man, I can accept the results.
I had a chance to visit with Lev earlier this week. When you walk the halls of Blount side by side with Coach Lev, it's like you're with royalty / chief of police. There's a reverence at that school.
Reverence and respect.
Yeah, man. But everything that certainly he's earned, and we've talked about this and to Lev about all this. But the role that you play on the campus of Blount is probably more than just an athletic director or a football coach.
Man, it's about fatherhood. I mean, you know, I was telling you when we met, you know, that when I walk in, you know, when I walk through that door, before I step foot in that door, I let everything go behind me, because there's 1,055 students there that I feel like need me. You know, well, it may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but eventually, you know, I want them to look at me as more than a football coach, be someone that they can come talk to, be someone that they can lean on, and that, hey, they want to, you know, make me proud, you know, and I want to be able to make them proud, that when they walk away and you see them 10, 20 years from now, say, hey, you know, you had an impact on my life, whether it was big, whether it was small, and, you know, and the negativity. I think people waste time with negativity, so I avoid it. You know, and again, like I said, it's about mentoring, and how can I mentor a team and I'm involved in negative? How can I mentor a team, mentor coaches, you know, not just here, but from around the state, and I'm not right, you know? So, like I say, relationships are everything to me.
Yeah, well, we're proud that you're doing what you're doing. We're proud we get to work with you, because we both feel better from getting to know you and seeing how you are from a leadership standpoint and a mentor standpoint. Well, so you've made an impact on us.
He's mentored us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, you have. So we're proud to know you, Lev Holly. We will see you in the last segment here. We'll come back. We're going to talk about Baldwin County. Haven't seen him on UTV 44 or did a game with Daphne a long time ago, but looking forward to it. They got a great young coach who's on the rise as well, and we're going to talk about tonight's matchup coming up right after this. High school football tonight on UTV 44. Baldwin County hosting Blount, a 6A Region 1 matchup. And Coach Nathan McDaniel with us here. First time on the show. Javis Atchison, also his first time on the show. Like you said, 6'3" wide receivers. Coaches like those, right?
I wonder why he brought them.
Always fun to have those guys.
Maybe he likes having a 6'3" wide receiver.
Hey, we're really excited to come to Bay Minette. We've not done a game up there, as we've said before, and I know the city's excited, the school's excited to have, and we're really excited, and it's just not to toot our own horn, but it's a cool thing when you got the game with, you know, the game under the lights on TV.
It's huge for our school, and it's huge for our city, and I'm so excited for our kids because they've worked so hard to get to this point. So for them to have this opportunity and represent the city of Bay Minette and represent Baldwin County High School is a big thing, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and an easy matchup with Blount coming to town.
Yeah, well, like I said eurlier, Lev's done this 100 times. This is my first, so hopefully we can live up to it. So.
When you got to Baldwin County, talk about what you saw needed to be done, and how the community, the team, the environment improved because of what you asked them to do.
It's so funny, Javis and I were actually talking about that on the way over here. I said we were driving down I-10, and I said I always think about going to scout Baldwin County and Theodore when I was at Daphne and watching them play and watching the sidelines and seeing the kids that they had and never could quite figure out why they couldn't get it together. And, you know, we played Spanish Fort on a Monday night on Monday on ESPN and played Bay Minette that Friday night. And I always said, if that job ever comes open, I would love to make a run at it because I think you can do something there. And so I knew the city was a wonderful place and had great people, and it always seemed like it had the athletes to be successful. So, you know, it was just one of those things where they had a 10 or 12, 15-year stretch where it just wasn't very good, and dating back to Jack French. And so, you know, the first thing we did when we came in is tried to completely change. And I know mindset's and culture's such a catchphrase nowadays, and a lot of people don't even know what culture means. But we really tried to change the culture of our program, and I believe we've done that over the last 4.5 years. You know, we're in this completely competitive region that we're in.
Yes.
Probably the best one in high school football. But I'm so proud of where our program's at and the strides that we've made and where we're headed.
Well, I was going to say, Jim, there'd be easier places to turn it around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as we say about 6A Region 1, that is a tough neighborhood.
Yeah, well, and you know, like Steve Masker was talking to us before the game at Blount and was just singing your praises, and just a young, rising coach in the coaching ranks. And Steve's been around a really long time.
Easy.
So he knows. So Javis is a senior. Like, what's it like playing for this guy?
It's pretty fun, pretty cool. He pushes every day to make us give max effort every day. Pretty cool, fun guy to hang around.
You coming off a couple of tough games, one on a monsoon, and then just kind of a tough game against St. Paul's as well. So a big matchup tonight against Blount. Though, what do you see and feel coming into tonight's game?
I would feel pretty confident, just pushing us every practice and make sure we do every little thing right, and just give it all Friday night.
Wide receivers, they always talk about wide receivers, and we get fixated on the one-on-one camera and how they do as pass catchers. I get the feeling, Coach McDaniel, that you ask your wide receivers to do a little dirty work as well.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And that you probably don't see the
divas
field.
At the
yeah.
Well, they always say that.
Talk about him not just catching the ball, but what else you ask him to do.
Wide receivers and DBs are the most selfish people in the world.
Except for this young man. Right.
But at the end of the day, no, we've got great kids on our program, and it doesn't matter what position they play. But Javis and the rest of our receiving corner, and really all of our kids, they're so unselfish at what they do, and it doesn't matter who gets the praise. We tell them every single Friday night, I don't care if he catches a pass tonight. If we win the game, that's all that matters. Right. You know, the statistics don't matter to Javis. Statistics don't matter to our kids. It's all about the team and all about getting the win at the end of the night. So he's going to do whatever we ask him to do, and that's what I'm so thankful for kids like him.
We were talking before the game last week with St. Paul's getting bumped up the classification and Lev's team being a very young team, and Dan and I were saying to both coaches, you know, not a lot of sympathy cards coming to either one of those coaches. You know, Blount may be a little young this year, but they're still the Blount Leopards, right?
Absolutely. Blount, you turn on the film and the first thing you notice is they can absolutely fly. And they've got long bodies everywhere. And they're young, but they can still play. Don't let them fool you. And so it's definitely going to be a great game, and we're looking forward to it. I think we're up to the challenge, just like they are. But it's going to be a tremendous test for sure.
And you know, we're week 5, like playoff implications all over this football game.
Absolutely. This thing in our region could come down to a 4-way tie or some crazy stuff like that. So, you know, you've got to win every opportunity you get, or this region could chew you up and spit you out real fast. So this is a big one.
Yeah, 7-3. You know a little bit about tiebreakers, right? Yeah, you know
a lot about it. Yeah. Know a lot about it.
James, great to meet you. Be safe out there. Be a diva on TV. We like divas on TV. Right? It's okay. It's okay.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, Lev Holly will sit in this chair and we'll play, you know, Mobile and Baldwin County's favorite quiz show. It's Bren In, Bren Out. And that comes up to get you ready for kickoff tonight. Blount and Baldwin County here on UTV 44. High school football here on UTV 44. Baldwin County hosting the Blount Leopards. Lev Holly from Blount, Nathan McDaniel, head coach Baldwin County, Jim Cox, Dan Brennan. And before we play Brennan, Bren Out, and I don't know if it's like this all over the state, but like it is amazing the level of friendship among coaches down here that we deal with. You know, you don't, and coaches can find a lot of information in Dan and I that they trust, and you never hear them say, well, you know, this guy or this guy. There's not a lot of that down here. There's not a lot of drama between coaches down here. I don't know if that's like that everywhere.
I talk to Lev just about every weekend, and he praises me when we win and talks me off the ledge when we lose. So I tell you what, you don't get much better than Lev Holly.
And you've been other places. Is it? And I know there's a fraternity and a brotherhood among coaching, but like down here, it just seems like there's just a lot of genuine friendships and caring among the coaches down here.
Well, I think coaching is a ministry. I mean, you know, we see a lot of kids in a lot of situations, and every last one of them is different. But and when you look, when it full circles, you know, we're in for one reason, you know, because without kids, you know, we don't have jobs. So I think the bond and the fraternity is something that, you know, that when it's all said and done, a relationship. Because I know eventually one day I'm gonna walk away, but I want to be able to say, you know what, man, I competed against a bunch of great guys. And that'll be way much more important than any win.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we know something. There's so much respect. All right, so we start with Dan Brennan, and he just says he's Brent in or Brent out on this topic. Then you, Lev, will play along. Lev's an old pro on this. I'm as an NFL fan, I'm gonna start you out there a little bit. John Gruden's return to the sideline. Dan Brennan, are you
Brent out?
Out on Gruden coming back. 0-2 trading Khalil Mack and amongst other things.
I'll tell you what, I'm Brent in on this one. I'm a Gruden fan.
All right, I love the show.
Out. You're not even an NFL guy. You're not a big NFL fan, are you? I'm not. All right. And I'm very well. I like what he's doing personnel-wise because it seemed to help the Bears. 35 years ago this week, rock legends Kiss appeared on MTV without their makeup for the first time.
Yeah.
You either have or would go to a Kiss concert, Dan Brennan.
Would not.
Brent out?
Yeah, I'm out. The tongue freaks me out. I'm done with that.
My wife and I's first date, Kiss concert. What?
Did you get a kiss?
Not on that. Let's see. Announced coming to Oa, the town of terror. Circus Asylum will feature eerie story with the ringmaster and twin clowns as they cause mischief through the Circus Asylum. A haunted house with clowns as guide. Dan Brennan. Brent in, Brent out.
Oh, wow. Brent out.
Yeah, I'm out on that.
Thank you, Ola.
I think I can find some other stuff that I can do.
No clowns. I'm not a fan of not have had. Burt Reynolds' version of The Longest Yard was better than Adam Sandler's.
Brent in.
I'm in on that one.
I'm in.
Yeah, in for sure on that one. A New York Times story this week. No political. It's not on the political page there. Explained how ranch dressing has supplanted ketchup as America's top condiment. Ranch dressing, Dan Brennan.
Not as #1, so Brent out.
Could be if it's homemade.
Out. Blue cheese, baby.
Blue cheese. Oh, okay. Out on that. All right. So, here we go. New lineup of Dancing with the Stars was announced. If there was a local version and they asked you to be on it, Dan Brennan, would you sign up?
Well, because it would be one night only. I'd be in and out. So I'd say in.
Hey, I'm in. I've been known to shake a leg.
I'm in.
Oh, I'm out. You do not want to see Brennan and I dancing would be awful. Baldwin County Blount next here on UTV 44.